Hey everybody, welcome to a Saturday late afternoon, early evening edition of Keith's Beer Reviews. It's cloudy, dreary, drizzly day outside, about 30 in the 30s. Not quite cold enough to freeze or get snow or anything. We may have some snow by morning, so I'm going to do another one inside. Probably going to be, most of them going to be inside from now on. Supposed to get in the 40s, maybe upper 40s, lower 50s later in the week, next week, so maybe I'll get out and maybe be able to get out and do one. I got a few days off from work. I had to work last night till 10:30, so didn't get one done. But anyway, I'm going to do a beer from a brewery that just appeared here in Iowa about a month or so ago. Stone Brewing out of San Diego, California. I'm going to do their pale ale. A little bit from the website. It says our flagship ale, Stone Pale Ale, is our Southern California interpretation of the classic British Pale Ale style. Deep amber in color, Stone Pale Ale is robust and full flavored. A delicate hop aroma is complemented by a rich maltiness. This is an ale for those who have learned to appreciate distinctive flavor. Stone Pale Ale is great by itself or with food that requires a beer of character. 5.4% ABV, 41 IBUs, a different stone cap, so use my BB Barfly here and save that cap. Got a little bit of smoke, oh, a little bunch of smoke off of it, so I will admit I bought a 6-pack of this, so I have had one before, so I have an initial impression. Just a disclaimer, but we got a nice semi-cloudy, mostly clear orange, dark orange color, not quite amber, but dark orange colored beer. Got a finger and a half of a kind of a really foamy, slightly off-white head, a little darker than I normally expect for an American pale ale, but they said it's their interpretation of the British style, so I'm not expecting quite the hoppiness that I usually get from American pale ales, but anyway, let's get a nose on this, see what we have. Well, I'm getting some good, nice floral, slight citrus hoppiness there. Definitely getting the slightly grainy malts, a little caramel, little breadiness. There's some herbal notes in there, but this is basically like an earthy, sweet, malty smelling beer with just a little bit of some nice aromatic hops. There's maybe just a bit of pine in there, just some faint citrus, but the solid malts come through right in the beginning in the nose. There might even be a slight hay-type note in here from some of the hops, but this is primarily a malt-forward pale ale, so let me give it a taste. There's a bit of hoppiness there, just a slight bit of bitterness, but it's really fruity and got some nice caramel, some almost bread and butter taste to it. Just a small dose, like I said, those herbal grassy hops in there. Light fruitiness, slightly light bitter finish. Almost reminds me like of a British ESB, but really nice tasting beer. Only 4.1%. Sure be an easy drinking beer, that's for sure. I'm getting hints of the pine. Following the malts. The malts hit you first, and then the hops enter in. You get those grassy, like I said, grassy floral notes. A lot of pine. Kind of a sweet bitter finish on the end, leaving just a light lacing down the light lacing down the glass, not real heavy lacing. The head dissipated almost immediately. Nicely balanced beer. It's just a smidge more bready and malty than hoppy, but there's still a decent hop presence here. So maybe a little more than you usually find in a British pale ale, but still nice tasting beer. It's fairly smooth. Seems almost light, medium light bodied, maybe medium bodied. Not a ton of carbonation, so feels a little thicker than it is. But darn good tasting beer so far. So let me sip on this a while. It's halftime of the Army-Navy game, so I'm taking a break from that. And I'll be back in a little while with the final thoughts and grade. Okay, I'm back. It's been 10 minutes or so. This is a nice, easy drinking, easy sipping beer. It's not overly complex, but there's still quite a bit going on here. Darn good beer, nicely blended. Like I said, just slightly malt forward, but there's a good bit of hoppiness there. Overall, I'm slightly disappointed that there wasn't a bit more hop flavor to it, being Stone and the reputation they have, but still a darn good beer. It's a solid take on a English pale ale. Very balanced, very easily drinkable. There's not much else to say. It's a darn good beer. If you can get Stone, this would be a nice everyday beer. Being here in Iowa, it's a little pricier than some of the other beers, but I'm sure if you're in an area where it's more widely distributed and maybe a little cheaper, this would be a darn good everyday pale ale. So I'm going to give it a good solid the Stone Pale Ale. And let me read this off the back. It says, this is the first ale we ever released at the Stone Brewing Company back in late July 1996. At the time it was a bit bold for the taste of the day. Today it's nearly on the modest side, especially when compared to our other brews, but certainly far from weak or wimpy. And it's our workhorses when it comes to pairing our brews with food. Stone Pale Ale is the go-to more than any other in our portfolio. It's our all-occasion ale, if you will, and remains one of our most popular. That I can understand. Sometimes folks who know the bolder, more adventurous side of our personality are surprised with the relative, in quotes, friendliness of Stone Pale Ale. Don't let it throw you. Hey, even brash folks like us can be downright friendly sometimes. It says ingredients, nothing but barley, hops, water, and yeast, which is the way a beer should be. So, the Stone Pale Ale, for me, darn good beer, easily drinkable beer, good solid beer. I'm going to give it a good solid 8.5 out of 10. Decent, easily drinkable. I'm definitely going to buy more of this in warm weather. So, till next time, everybody, cheers. And let's keep drinking good beer. Now back to the Army-Navy game.